It's an exciting day for the Woods Runner family. It's the first time for my wife and kids to go out ice fishing with us. I've been out several times through the years, and I usually catch my limit. Not always, but a lot of the times. We didn't catch any fish today, but this is the kids' first time. This is just a good time to get out there and show the kids what ice fishing is all about. Normally, I go by myself early in the morning. This is middle of the day, so really it's just a learning experience for everyone and for us to do this as a family. We are using a tent, a pop-up tent for our ice fishing. There are other types of shelters you can use. They have a hard shelter that folds over, and they also have, of course, the traditional ice shanty that you pull out with a vehicle or on a sled. You may notice we have a sled with us, and the sled carries all kinds of gear, chairs, coolers, things of that nature. Usually it's a family affair hooking up one of these tents, especially on a windy day, but today's nice weather, so it's not so bad. One of the things you want to bring on your sled, of course, is the right equipment, an auger, maybe a spud to check the ice depth. One of the important things is to always know how deep the ice is ahead of time, or as you're doing it, check the strength of the ice with the depth. Now today it's about 3.5 feet deep. I actually tested it ahead of time when I went out fishing and brought my family back to go. There's all kinds of equipment you can bring. Some essentials are an auger, a spud to check the safety of the ice, a propane heater for inside the tent to keep everyone toasty and warm. These are all things that add to the enjoyment. My wife and I are in these images, just putting up the tent, packing snow around there to cut the wind from blowing in. And in a few minutes, you'll see the inside of. You go out on the ice. Always remember that when you do go out on the ice, that you let someone know where you're going to be out fishing and how long you're going to be gone for, so that if anything happens, they'll know where to start looking. This is very important if you're going out by yourself. Some important equipment you could bring with you is some type of GPS location device. Oh, you also may notice some people drive out onto the ice. You'll see vehicles out there. I typically won't. I mean, if the ice is at least a foot thick, some say it's safe to drive out, but I'd much rather walk and be extra safe because I don't want to have to worry about that. However, if you do drive out, make sure you have your windows down in case you go through the ice. You can get out of your vehicle easier. And such things do happen and make the news on occasion. Go ahead and make sure you have the chairs in your shelter and make it nice and cozy in there. You look through the window here, and at this point, maybe you can see my son. He's really enjoying himself. And bring along some warm beverages and something to drink for the kids too, and maybe a cool beverage. You will need some type of auger with you to drill holes into the ice. Some folks use chainsaws. I do not recommend that. That is a catastrophe waiting to happen if you slip up. I do recommend a power auger. Here I'm using a manual one, and it took me quite a while to dig through 3 feet of ice. Doing that 3 times, that's like 9 feet of ice I had to dig through on this day. So power auger would be a good investment. If not, a hand auger works just fine. Just a reminder, uh, I mentioned the propane before. I'll mention it again. We have a propane heater. It keeps us warm. Make sure you have plenty of ventilation in there. If there are slots for ventilation, open them up or open a window. And you look look around there, you'll see that there's a fish finder. Actually, that's a ice fishing camera. It gives you a good look of what's going on below the water. We also have a small handheld unit. We'll be showing its actual fish finder. We got our little poles there. They're shorter than a regular fishing pole, and we put a small jig on there and some wax worms. Those are all really good tools to have when you're out on the ice, obviously. When you're out on the ice, you'll want to keep your children occupied in case they get bored. You don't want to bring a Nintendo Switch. Not that there's nothing wrong with that, but we want to focus on fishing. But keep them occupied, tell some stories, bring some hot cocoa. It's all about being on the ice and being there in the moment. You used to tell your kids, bring some hot cocoa, sandwiches, whatnot. Make sure you dress appropriately. No, it gets warm inside the tent, but to and from, it can be quite cold I always wear a winter hat, isolated pants, waterproof boots. Everyone has on waterproof boots here, and my wife is actually in these shots. When you see her, she's wearing my ice fishing gear. It's water resistant, and it's really good at the towards the beginning and end of the season when the ice begins to melt a lot. It's has a small flotation device in the knees and in the jacket part, and it's just really warm. And I recommend investing in something like that if you're going to be doing a lot of ice fishing. My children still have on their regular snow gear, but it keeps them warm. Again, inside the tent, it gets pretty toasty. And if you want, you can even take your jacket off, like I did, and it's cozy. There's a room for for you to move around, but not much. We use some really basic electronics. We have the Lucky Fish Finder, which just pretty much just shows the depth and any obstructions down there. It'll show if fish are moving, but you really can't tell the size of the fish or how many there are. It just shows you something's down there. Could be a turtle, could be a bunch of little insects. I also use a camera, an underwater camera, to monitor what's going on there, and it adds to the excitement. The kids like looking in there too. But yeah, it does help to use electronics while you're ice fishing. I don't always use them. It kind of kills the boredom, especially when the fish aren't biting. At least you can see them go swimming by. But it's always something nice to have on hand, another tool in the toolbox.
No.
Put it on her boot.
Too close to the heater, dude.
Knowing when it's time to pack up. After 3 hours on the ice and not catching any fish and just seeing them swim on by in my little handy camera, my kids were getting restless. And honestly, my back was getting a little sore. And my wife was also eager for us just to go on home and warm up a bit at the house and take care of some chores. And so we decided it was about time to pack up. Word on cleaning up. Make sure that you don't leave any trash on the ice. Take care of the ice. Take care of the lake. You're going to be fishing there in the summer. You're going to be swimming in there, playing in there. No one wants to see trash lying around. Bald eagles frequently come to these places. Otters are in these places. All kinds of wonderful animals. Again, clean up after yourself. Now, you'll notice while we clean up, my kids actually are off playing in the snow. We've asked a lot of them about behaving and sitting still inside this little tent. They're out there releasing their wiggles while my wife and I finish packing up. Again, thanks everybody for watching today as you finish enjoying our fishing trip. We had a blast. It was our kids' first time, and honestly, my son said he likes this better than even fishing off a boat in the summer. Well, go ahead and like and subscribe. It really helps our channel, and I'd appreciate it. Again, breaking down everything and packing it up, it's just doing everything in reverse, and we're getting ready to head on home. You can enjoy the Northwoods here in the snow as we clean up after everything and get ready to go.
summer, and we had people going around with their pontoon boats. We were fishing along the shoreline, and they didn't want to.
Yeah, we still caught a bunch of fish
Slow
though. We
down.
caught a bunch
Yeah.
of bluegill and perch
That's
in the
where
summer.
Yeah.
we thought it would be lucky.
And a little fishing trip to Moose Lake.
Yeah, we saw them. We saw them on the camera. They just weren't biting today. Other people had the same experience we did. But it's a nice day, and we'll try it again in a few more days. Hopefully we'll have better luck next time.
You like ice fishing better than normal fishing?
Yep. I like ice fishing better than normal fish.
Why?
I don't know. I just enjoy it more.
I like both. My feet freeze when
Yeah, my feet freeze too.
Like, what's the name of the boat?